Dr. Zirkus here. How many of you remember the greatest Christmas present you ever got? Well, let me tell you about mine. When I was about 9 or 10 years old, I used to go to this hobby shop that was in our town. And among the model trains and airplanes and such, they had one case, in fact, just one shelf inside this glass showcase where they had a few magic tricks. And these were price range about 50 cents up to maybe $1.25. And I had a paper out at the time, and I would make $2 a week profit. So every Saturday I'd get on my bike and I'd ride down to the hobby shop, and I'd go inside and I would sit on the floor in front of this case. And I would look at all the little tricks that were in there. There weren't that many, but I looked at them all, trying to decide which one I was going to spend my $2 on. So, well, I think eventually I had, one of about everything that they sold there. But I go in one day and I see something I'd never seen before. It was a black box about this big. And it had a sign next to it. It said the mystery box. I said, the mystery box? I've never heard of that. And I looked at the price. It was $6.75. Now, that was way too much money for me. And I thought, and I was sitting there wringing my hands, and the owner of the store walked by, and he saw my predicament, and he said, if you wouldn't come in here every week and spend your $2, you could probably save your money and have enough to come in and get the trick. I thought, what a great idea. So I go running home, and I'm happy, and I've got a goal now, right? So I save up my money for a few weeks, and I finally got it. And when I had enough money, I put it in my pocket, I ride my bicycle down there, I jump off, I run inside, pull my money out, slap it down on the counter, and said, I'll take it. And the owner said, take what? And I said, where is it? He said, where's what? The mystery box. He said, oh, that magic trick, somebody bought that last week. No! I was crushed. I'll tell you, it was the longest ride back home that I'd ever had. I was sad. So I got home, and my parents knew that I was kind of upset by this. They said, just try to take your mind off of it. You'll be fine. And I did. And it was working up until Christmas morning. Now, like kids do, we go running to the tree first thing in the morning, and guess what I saw? I saw a Barbie doll. Well, that's because, my sister. But anyway, I figured if she got what she wanted, then maybe I got what I wanted. So I went digging around the back of the tree, and there it was. That black box, the one they called the mystery box. Well, at that time, my parents used to take pictures of us kids when we would open our presents. And this was no different. They had just taken a picture of this kid that had just opened this black box and discovered that there was a white box inside. He was the happiest kid on the planet. He had a smile that ran all the way from the kitchen to the front porch. And about the next minute, he opened that box up, and this cold reality set in. There were no instructions. All these other tricks had instructions. This one didn't. And then it struck me. This trick is so cool, it will work all by itself. Well, it took me a while to figure out what it was going to do. It was going to hold one of my other tricks. That's about the only thing I could figure to do with it. I had no idea what I was doing here. So anyway, this trick right here, I should probably tell you about. Have you seen this before? It's a trick where you have 3 red balls and you put 2 of them in your hand, and you put one of them in your pocket. Or you haven't seen it? I can show it to you. It's real quick. You take 2 of the balls, you put them in your hand, you put 1 in your pocket, and you still wind up with 3. Remember, you put 2 in your hand, you put 1 in your pocket, and you still wind up with 3. Doesn't matter which one you put in your pocket, as long as you have 2 here, and you still wind up with 3. You put 2 balls here, you put one in your hand and one in your pocket, one in your... Well, you probably figure this is a trick with no ending. Well, that was a long time ago. You see, not long ago, I was visiting my mom, and she had this box that was, it was a shoe box, I think, and it had some old pictures in it, old snapshots. And I got to thinking, I wonder if that picture is in there. Remember the one I told you about, the kid that was so happy that he just opened the box and had a smile that ran all the way from the kitchen to the front porch? Well, I started digging down through that box, hoping to find it. Got all the way to the bottom, and the picture was no longer there. Apparently the victim of time. But I found the next best thing. I found the negative. The negative showed a picture of a kid with a white box that had a black box inside of it. He looked like the happiest kid on the face of the earth. He had a smile that ran all the way from the front porch to the kitchen. And when he opened that box, I bet that kid was going to keep 3 red balls inside that box. And the rest of that story is ...